Today is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. This is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission, broadcasting from Ankara in the 16-meter band between 1230 and 1330 UTC on 17,620 kHz to Europe. You can listen to us over the Tubesat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trtdna.com through Radio's link and under the VOT Radio's expandable section. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr. Following the news and the review of the Turkish press, the Voice of Turkey will present some Turkish music and some featured programs. But first, we start with the news. 2023 goes down as one of the most violent years since the Second World War. The year 2023 became one of the most violent years since the Second World War as tensions and violence continue their upward trend globally. The Peace Research Institute, Oslo, the PRIO, published a research report on global trends in conflict, saying 2023 is one of the years that saw the most violence and armed conflicts since the Second World War. The report said 59 conflicts were recorded last year, while 28 of those were seen across the African continent. Research Director Siri Asfurstad said 2023 is the third most violent year since the end of the Cold War. The conflicts are becoming more complex, Furstad said, adding that one country can have several conflicts, in addition to several countries experiencing one conflict. The number of casualties in the past 3 years alone is higher than that of the past 30 years, the research also found. More than 122,000 people died in conflicts in 2023, and 71,000 people lost their lives in Ukraine, and 23,000 others in Gaza within 3 months, the report said. The PRIO paper examined global conflict trends between 1946 and 2023 using data from the Uppsala Conflict Data Program of the Uppsala University in Sweden. And talking about Gaza, the death toll reaches 37,164 in Gaza. The number of people killed in the attacks carried out by the Israeli army on the Gaza Strip since October 7th increased by 40 in the last 24 hours, reaching 37,164. In the statement made by the Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza, information was given about Israel's attacks on the Gaza Strip for the 229 days. It was stated that the Israeli army carried out 3 assaults in various parts of Gaza in the last 24 hours and that 40 more Palestinians lost their lives and 120 Palestinians were injured in these attacks. It was noted that the number of deaths in Israel's attacks on Gaza Strip since October 7th increased to 37,164 and the number of injured increased to 84,832. Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus President says no common ground in Cyprus negotiations. President Ersin Tatar of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus has stated that there is no common ground for resuming negotiations on the Cyprus issue. President Tatar participated in a closed session of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus Parliament, which lasted approximately 4 hours, to inform the members of Parliament about the latest developments regarding the Cyprus issue. Following the parliamentary session, President Tatar made a statement to the press regarding his contacts with the United Nations Secretary General's personal representative, Maria Angela Fuela. Tatar said, "We are ready to negotiate, but it appears that there is no common ground necessary for the negotiation process to begin. This is because the other side does not recognize our sovereignty. There is no point in entering into a negotiation process with a party that does not accept our sovereignty." Tatar advised patience and the development of the relations with Turkish states, adding, with the support of Turkey, the world has once again learned the realities of Cyprus. Tatar emphasized, in Cyprus, there are 2 separate peoples, 2 separate states, and 2 separate democracies, each with its own struggle. After everything we have been through, our struggle is to promote the recognition of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. The Republic should be recognized, and it should be accepted that the Turkish Cypriot people live under their own state in peace, tranquility, and security on this land. We have no other foundation or aspiration. Highlighting that Turkish Cypriots have as much right to sovereignty as Greek Cypriots, Qatar pointed out that these sovereignty rights are based on historical international agreements. Addressed on the criticism on social media about the closed parliamentary session, Qatar said, "As claimed, I am not the one who requested the closed session. As president, I neither requested nor recommended a closed session. Matters of this nature have always been discussed in closed sessions." And Turkey and Europe meet each other, says a EU official. Lead spokesperson for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Peter Stano, said, "Turkey needs Europe and Europe needs Turkey because we are stronger together." The EU officials spoke to Turkish journalists at the European Commission in the Belgian capital, Brussels. Appearing before them in a Turkish flag t-shirt, Stano greeted the journalists in Turkish, saying he likes Turkey very much. Answering questions on Turkey-EU ties, the EU Commission spokesperson said the European Union knows Turkey's importance. Turkey needs Europe and Europe needs Turkey because we are stronger together. On the resumption of membership negotiations, Stano said this would require approval of all member states because it can be only resolved when 27 member states yes.
Continues on the English language broadcast of the Voice of Turkey.
In Russia, a Sukhoi Su-34 fighter jet crashed, killing 2 pilots. In a statement made by the Russian Ministry of Defense, it was said that the Su-34 fighter jet belonging to the Russian Air and Space Forces crashed in a deserted area during a planned training flight in the mountainous region of the Republic of North Ossetia, Alanya. In the statement, it was stated that both pilots of the plane died. According to initial findings, the plane crashed due to a technical malfunction, and the delegation from the Ministry of Defense was sent to the scene. And staying in Russia, Russia stages second phase of its tactical nuclear exercise. The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that the second phase of the non-strategic nuclear weapons exercise has begun. In the statement made by the ministry, it was said that with the decision of Russian President Vladimir Putin, the second phase of the exercise of non-strategic nuclear forces has started. The statement read, "During the exercise, issues of joint training of Russian and Belarusian armed forces on the combat use of non-strategic nuclear weapons will be studied." It was noted in the statement that the exercise was carried out with the aim of unconditionally ensuring the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Union State of Russia, Belarus, and to ensure the readiness of the personnel and equipment of the units in Russia and Belarus for the use of non-strategic nuclear weapons in the war. On May 21st, the Russian Ministry of Defense had announced that it has started an exercise on the use of non-strategic nuclear weapons in the country's southern military district. Last year, Russia deployed tactical nuclear weapons to Belarus on the grounds that NATO deployed similar weapons to other countries. And staying on the topic, Turkish Foreign Minister Fidan meets with Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan meets with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov during BRICS Plus session in Nizhny Novgorod. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan met with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, where he attended the BRICS Plus session as part of the BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting. According to diplomatic sources, the discussions focused on bilateral and regional relations, highlighting the economic issues of importance to Turkey. The two ministers also evaluated the latest situation in Gaza. A written statement from the Russian Foreign Affairs noted that the meeting covered key topics on the international agenda, including the situation in the Middle East and South Caucasus, and Lavrov informed Fidan about Russia's priorities within the BRICS. During the meeting, Lavrov provided Fidan with Russia's fundamental assessments regarding the situation in Ukraine. The ministers also discussed current issues related to bilateral and political dialogue and cooperation in trade and economic fields. The Russian side emphasized the need to continue cooperation to resolve existing problems, expand ties, and identify beneficial areas for interaction. Additionally, in Nizhny Novgorod, Turkish Foreign Minister Fidan met with Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Paella. According to a post on the Turkish Foreign Ministry's social media platform X, our Minister of Health Fidan, our Minister Hakan Fidan met with Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Paella in Nizhny Novgorod, where he is attending the BRICS Plus meeting. Diplomatic sources revealed that the discussion covered political and economic relations and addressed the embargo on Cuba. The situation in Gaza was also addressed. Fidan expressed his gratitude to Cuba for its support of the Palestinian cause. And moving on to space, TürkSat 6A being prepared for launch. Turkey's communication will take place with the satellite developed by Turkish engineers. President of the Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey, Professor Dr. Hasan Mandal, stated that TürkSat 6A, the communication satellite developed by Turkey with its own engineers, not by relying on anyone else, is a new beginning for space studies. Mandal said that Turkey's first domestic and national communication satellite, TürkSat 6A, was produced in years with the work of nearly 400 Turkish engineers and researchers. There were satellites sent by Turkey in terms of communication, but these satellites were made by purchasing services. They belong to us, but we bought them paying the price. 6A is different. 6A is a local and national satellite from design to its production. Pointing out that TürkSat 6A will be launched on July 8th and serve more than 50% of the world's population, Mandal said, our previous satellites provide communication to the geography we are in. With 6A, Turkey's communication with a population of 5 billion people from Indonesia, Malaysia, India will be provided. Turkey's communications will take place with the satellite developed by our own engineers, not by relying on anyone else. And staying in space endeavored by Turkey, Turkey's second astronaut returns home. Turkey's second astronaut, Tuva Cihangir Atasever, returned home after his suborbital research flight within the scope of the Turkish space science mission. Speaking at a press conference held at the Ministry of Industry and Technology with the participation of Minister Mehmet Fatih Kaçır and the first Turkish astronaut Alper Gezer Avcı, Atasever expressed his satisfaction with the task he undertook. Atasever said, I can't wait to share this treasure and experience I have gained from this process with our young people, to enable them to take more ambitious steps than the first steps that we took. Turkish Minister of Industry and Technology Mehmet Fatih Kaçır, for his part, said, we will advance our country's capacity to carry out scientific research in the field of space, stating that the share of the global space economy will be increased. Minister Kaçır added, we will make the most of the opportunities offered by space. And that was news in English on the Voice of Turkey.